Hello my lovely internet besties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be reading only spooky, cozy, witchy fall romances and I'm so excited. I know that not everybody enjoys seasonal reads like Christmas romances and fall romances, but I eat them up every single time. And so this year I've acquired some very fun, witchy, fall, cozy romances. And I thought, you know what? Let's just throw them all into one video. Let's read them all in October, because is there a better time to read cozy romances than the month of October? I don't think so. I think that's it from me. So without further ado, let's jump into the reading vlog. I'm so excited. The first book that we are going to be reading in this week's video is The Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. And this is a really fun book because I have actually already read The Ex Hex, so I know that the vibes are immaculate. It is witchy, it is spooky, it is Halloween coded, and I already know that I enjoyed this book the first time around, and I really desperately wanted to read this in the month of October. Basically, in this book, we're following a witch named Vivian who, at the beginning of our story, she has a bit of an ugly breakup with her ex. And so her and her cousin have some fun, silly little girl time, and they curse her ex. Little do they know, this curse is actually a real curse, so they've accidentally cursed Mr. Mans. And so then the heart of our story actually takes place 9 years later when they reunite, and we go from there. I don't want to say too much more. Like I said, it's very witchy, there's spells, spooky Halloween town vibes, and it is so much fun. And at the point that I'm at right now, I'm on page 176 and 60% into this book. I would have updated you guys sooner, but I was actually traveling all weekend. I was in Boston and Salem having a very spooky weekend, and it was so much fun. So I ended up reading up to 60% during this trip and during my flights and stuff like that. So now that I'm home, I wanted to film and give you guys a little bit of an update. And in regards to my actual feelings towards this book, they're interesting because I don't think this is like a great book. I feel like the vibes are great. And so I'm honestly feeling pretty similarly to the way I felt the first time that I read this book. I love all of the Halloween, the magic, all of that stuff, but the romance is like very mid to me. There's not a lot of depth there. I don't really feel it that deeply, but I'm having a great time. And so yeah, I'll update you guys when I'm a little bit further in. It's just like perfect for the spooky season, and so I really couldn't ask for more. And so that's where we're at right now. Hopefully I'll get to reading this a little bit more today. And like I said, I will update you guys when I have more concrete thoughts. I did finish the Ex Hex today, and so I wanted to come on here and give you guys a little bit of a reading update, let you guys know my final opinions. I know I didn't really update on this book very much, but I think that was mostly because this was a reread for me, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. Although I will say I did forget a little bit more than I thought I was going to, especially towards the end. I feel like there were some things that had to get worked out that like I didn't exactly remember, so that was kind of fun and a little bit unexpected. But honestly, I think I'm going to give this book the same rating that I gave it the first time, which is a 3-star, which you guys might be wondering, like, why did you reread this book if you gave it a 3-star rating the first time? And the reason for that is because the romance is very much like a 2-3 star for me, but the Halloween spooky vibes in this book are absolutely immaculate. You have ghosts, witches, spells, all of the spooky things. There's a Halloween festival. Everything about it screams Halloween, spooky season, and for that reason, it's a very nostalgic book for me. But again, like, I don't think the characters are that great. I don't emotionally connect to the characters, the plot, pretty much anything, but I still enjoyed it. I had a fun time rereading it. Although I will say, as I got further into it, I kind of wanted to just be finished with it. Like, for the first 50%, I was getting my spooky fill, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. I have everything that I need from this book. Now I just want to finish it and move on to the next one. So that was this book. It was really good. I read it on my Kindle because, again, I bought it on here a few years ago. And so I think the next book that I want to read for this video is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And craziest thing happened. My mom is so cute, and she has been sending me cute little fall things in the mail. And she randomly, well, she did her research and she was like, oh, looks like there's a lot of great reviews for this book. So she sent it in the mail, having no idea that I picked this for my October TBR. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, you're so cute. You watched my video and how I talked about how I needed to buy this book so I could read it. No, she didn't watch the video. She just did her research, and turns out we were just in sync, which was crazy. And so now I own this book and I'm so excited, and it perfectly matches the theme of this video. And again, it's on my official October TBR, which is a win. I have not been doing great on my October TBR, unfortunately. I'm getting there, but I've done better. And so, yeah, I'm so excited to read this book. I really don't know anything about it, except it's a romance book and there are witches involved. And that's about it. So I think I'm gonna get into this book. It is a Saturday today, and Saturday means reading, and I'm so excited. Also, side note, my friend made me this cute little bookmark, and I'm obsessed with it, and so I think I'm gonna use it for our next read. It's not very spooky, but it's cute, and I love it. Hello everyone. As you guys saw last night, I did make a little bit more progress in this book. I'm currently on page 154, chapter 14, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I realized I don't think I told you guys anything about the plot, which, to be fair, I didn't know anything about the plot when I picked up this book. But basically, we're following our main character. Her name is Mika, and she's a witch. But in the world that this takes place in, witches are very powerful, and so they end up like attracting magic to them, and so it ends up being unsafe for witches to spend a lot of time together. And so in a series of events, Mika actually ends up becoming a witch tutor for these 3 orphaned witches who have no guidance, they have no control of their magic. And again, witches aren't supposed to be together because, again, they attract kind of like danger. Like when there's more magic around, more catastrophic things can happen. And so when she hears about these children, she's like, no way, that's impossible. They literally can't be together, but they are. It's a little bit hard to explain. I feel like you're gonna have to read this book to fully understand. And also, I don't want to spoil anything. That's like the very, very beginning of this story. And then also we have our love interest, whose name is Jamie. And the romance in this book is very, very subtle at this point. Again, I am just about halfway through, and we're spending a lot more time focusing on the characters, the witches, the kids, the family. I feel like one thing that I'm noticing so much is the similarities between this book and The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. A lot of similarities. But I'm looking at all of that stuff, and so the romance isn't at this point a huge part of the story, but I know that there's going to be one. And yeah, Jamie's just a really cute, sweet guy. He definitely is a little bit grumpy. He is very protective over the girls, and yeah, he's sweet. I like Mika. This is just a very sweet, fun, cozy book, but not cozy to the point where it's slow, if that makes sense. It's like cozy, but I'm really engaged and interested and laughing and smiling and having a wonderful time. Not sure if any of that made literally any sense. Again, this is kind of one of those books where it'll make more sense if you pick it up, but I'm really enjoying it. It's giving all the fall, cozy, witchy vibes, and that's exactly what I need. Today, guys, Texas is crazy. Yesterday, it was 92 degrees outside. This morning when I went out for my walk, it was 52 degrees. I don't even know how that begins to happen. We're not going to talk about it, but I'm considering going, this is going to sound kind of weird, but like bundling up and going to the pool area and reading this outside for a little bit. It just would be nice to sit outside and enjoy some of the cool fall breeze, because I think it's gonna go back up to the 80s next week. So I just wanna enjoy my spooky witchy vibes while I can. Finished The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I want to give you guys a little bit of an update, let you know my final opinions real quick. And overall, this book was so sweet. I feel like the characters were so adorable. I loved the family elements, the kids in this book. I really enjoyed Mika as our main character. And as far as like the spooky, cozy, witchy Halloween vibes, this book gave everything that I think it needed to give. It was so cozy, so magical, so sweet. Everything about it was just purely adorable. With all of that said though, I do feel like there were a few things about this book that were not my favorite, and I feel like the one that stands out the most is the romance. I think I said it in the clip before this, how at the beginning, like for the first half of this book, we're really focused on the kids, the children, the witches, Mika as a main character, and I really enjoyed that. It added to the cozy vibes. There was a lot of descriptions of the setting in a really, again, beautiful and cozy way. However, after that, like after we hit beyond the halfway point, the romance I really felt like started to pick up on a dime, and there wasn't a lot of build up there. And so unfortunately that meant that I didn't really feel it with the romance. Like I wasn't super emotionally connected to it. It didn't really feel like something that I wanted to be there. I really wanted to focus on the kids and the family way more than I wanted to focus on the romance, because at that point, that's what we had given attention to. That's what I cared about. And unfortunately, I think I just felt like everything by the end was done sort of halfway. Like everything felt a little bit half-baked to me. Like once we switched our attention over to the romance, I felt like all of the things that we were trying to learn and teach the children, show them how to do magic, I feel like that was supposed to be the main point of the story, and it kind of got put on the back burner. And yeah, I just felt like there were different plot lines that were going on in here that felt a little bit unresolved to me, that I wanted to see all the way through. And I'm not sure if other people feel that way. There were just a few things that I felt like were kind of left hanging a little bit. Overall though, I know that sounds like a lot of complaints. I really enjoyed reading this book. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 stars. So guys, this was not a bad book. I really enjoyed it, and it did everything that I wanted to do for the month of October. I feel like when I decided to start this video, I wasn't looking for literature. I was looking for books that are going to get me in the spirit, and this definitely did that. I would still highly recommend this book. I do feel like I'm being a little bit nitpicky right now, but the girls were adorable. Mika was adorable. Our love interest was also adorable. I just didn't connect to the romance. But that's this book. I'm feeling very accomplished. So I think now we're gonna go and pick our final read of the video, and I'm so excited. I think we're gonna end this video very strong with all of the fall cozy vibes, and I'm so excited. The third and final book that we are going to be reading for this video is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I do not necessarily have high expectations for this story. I feel like just from the title, I know that it's gonna have all the fall, autumnal. I don't know about like witchy or spooky vibes necessarily, but I feel like it's just gonna be such a fun, cozy romance, and I'm so excited. I saw this book floating around last year, never got to it. Then again, I saw a bunch of people reading it this year, and I wasn't planning on reading this book. It's not on my October TBR. I'm so sorry, but it's just too perfect for this video and I have to read it. My mom actually sent me this book in the mail, and she was like, hey, I did a bunch of research on like popular books for the fall season, and she's so cute, and I just really want to read this book, partially because she sent it to me, partially because it works so well in this video, and also I just think it's going to get me in the fall spirit. I don't know anything about this story. I'm assuming it has something to do with the cafe. I'm not even gonna read the back of the book. I would rather just go in completely blind. Lastly, before I start this book, look at the cover. I mentioned this in another video, but it has the like metallic paper on the leaves, and I just think it's so cute. And I'm so excited. So I think I've said that like 100 times. So we're just gonna jump into this book and I will let you guys know what it's about. And then of course what I think about it. I did continue reading this book last night. I got in bed after work and I got up to page 166. And you know, I'm not enjoying this book. I hate to say it. I don't know exactly what it is. I think there's quite a few things about this story that I'm not connecting with. First of all, the writing I just don't connect with the writing style, I think. But even more than that, the dialogue feels very forced to me. Basically, when I'm reading this, the things that characters are saying, they don't feel like natural sentences that people would say. You know, it just, again, the only word that I can really think of is forced. And I didn't go into this book with high expectations. I'm really just looking for all of the fall vibes, you know? But yeah, I think the biggest thing is the dialogue that I'm not obsessed with. I do really like the cozy small town feeling in here. Basically, we're following our main character whose name is Jeannie, and her aunt basically gifts her the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And so Jeannie leaves her very stressful job in Boston. She's been living in the city for a long time. She's like, I am gonna be a new person. I'm the new Jeannie. I'm moving to this small town in the Northeast, and I am just gonna run this cute little Pumpkin Spice Cafe and be a wholesome, stress-free version of myself. And so she goes, and right at the beginning of the story, we meet our love interest, whose name is Logan, I think. And Logan is extremely reminiscent of Luke from Gilmore Girls. Honestly, this whole book is extremely reminiscent of Gilmore Girls. There is a character who reminds me of Taylor in Gilmore Girls, the like mayor of the town. And again, our love interest is very Luke coded. There's just a lot of similarities, and I feel like this book probably took some inspiration from that show because of how similar they are. There's cozy weather, cozy descriptions, and all of that stuff I'm really enjoying. But like, to be completely honest, I am just a little bit bored, and I am looking forward to finishing this book. But I will say the font, absolutely giant. I don't know if you can like tell on camera, but the font is freaking ginormous. And so honestly, I think if I just sit down and read this book tonight, maybe a little bit tomorrow, I can finish it and get this video up for you guys. So again, it's not like to a point where I don't want to finish it. Like I do want to finish this book. I'm not feeling like I need to DNF it. My cousin told me that the second book in this series is supposed to be significantly better than the first. So maybe I'll read that one. I think it's called The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Sounds like a vibe. But I'm not regretting reading this book because the cover is so cute. It's literally called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and we're entering the end of October. So still feeling like a winner. It's just I personally am not connecting to this book, but I do see why people really enjoy it. But that's all from me. I'm gonna get back to my work day, and then I will connect back up with you guys either tonight or tomorrow to finish off our final fall read. Good morning, everyone. It is pretty early on Saturday morning, but I finished the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and I wanted to give you guys a little review of this book and then just do a wrap up for this video. Also, I'm so sorry if you guys can hear pickleballs in the background. I do live right near a pickleball court. I'm so sorry. Starting off with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I came this close last night to DNFing this book. I feel like for me, I just connected with it less and less and less as the book progressed. And as we got towards the last like 100 pages, I got to the point of basically just skimming, like not even reading super closely anymore. And so I think I've decided to give this book a 2-star. I just felt like the writing and particularly the dialogue really prevented me from enjoying this book. However, if you don't have that experience with the writing, if the dialogue doesn't bother you, the writing doesn't bother you, I feel like you'll probably really like this book. It is so Gilmore Girls, it is so fall, and a lot of people do really like this book. I personally just didn't enjoy it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a 2-star. I'm still glad that I read it. It was great for the fall season, but yeah. I did also just want to do a quick wrap up of all of the books that we were able to read in this video. The first book that I read was the Ex Hex, and I read that one on my Kindle. And I really enjoyed this book, but again, not for the romance, just for the Halloween spooky vibes. I love the witches, I love the magic, I love the Halloween festival. And yeah, this was a 3 stars, but like 10 stars for vibes. So wins all around right there. Then we had easily my favorite read of the video, and that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This story I felt like had the most depth. I loved the characters. The writing was easily my favorite. I loved the story. While I didn't connect with the romance as much as I was hoping to, I overall still really enjoyed this cozy witchy read. And yeah, if you're gonna read anything from this video, I would recommend this one. But again, just don't go into it with high expectations for the romance because it's light on the romance. So this was a 4-star. And then of course we had the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. We just talked about this. Didn't enjoy this one. 2 stars. I'm so sorry. So if I were to rank everything, my favorite would be The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Then I would put the Ex Hex, and at the bottom, I would put the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. But you know, everyone's different. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna love these books. You never know. And I think that's gonna be it from me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and a wonderful reading month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!